Boinx!
Hello, everyone. Have you heard of the new game, Startups? What? You haven't? Then you probably want to know what it's like and how to play, eh? In that case, you are talking to the right pig. My name is Boinx, and I know all there is to know about Oink Games. As you may imagine, Startups is about 6 different startup companies. Basically, a startup company is a new small company that grows up into a big company very quickly. We, as the players, are the talented investors that can pick out which companies have the greatest growth potential. Okay then, it's time to start investing and make lots of money.
I'm so excited!
So, how do we invest in the startup companies?
Good question.
Wow!
We use these 6 kinds of company cards. These numbers show how many cards there are for each specific company. For example, there are 6 cards for the Bow Wow Games Company with the number 6 on them. And there are 10 cards for the EMT Company whose cards have the number 10 on them.
Wow! They all look like they'll be really successful companies!
In the game, each player has 3 cards in their hand, and when it's your turn, you take a new card and put one of your 4 cards out in front of you to invest in a company. At the end of the game, the player who has collected the most cards of a certain company will get the monopoly for it and receive all of the profits.
I see, so I should invest as much as I can, right?
Well, it's not always that easy. Other players will invest in the same company as you do, and in the end, if you have fewer cards of a certain company than another player has, you will have to pay that player. The more cards you have, the more you will have to pay. So if you don't become the biggest investor, you will lose money to another player.
So you need to keep track of what the other players are doing and plan accordingly.
Looks like you really have to use your head.
Now, let's go over the rules. The first thing you have to do is shuffle all of the company cards and take 5 of them out. You are not allowed to look at those 5 cards until the end of the game.
Why do we have to take 5 cards out?
Good question. Taking out 5 cards makes it harder to know how many cards of a certain company are still left in the deck. That makes things more interesting, don't you think?
Oh!
Each player starts with 3 cards, and you leave the rest of the deck in the middle. Each player also gets 10 capital chips, and then you're ready to start.
Yay!
Oh boy, oh boy!
Okay, I'll go first. At the start of your turn, you take a card from the deck and put it together with your other 3 cards. Now you have 2 choices. You can pick one card and invest in that specific company by putting it in front of you, or you can get rid of a card that you don't need by putting it into the market area. The market area is the area around the deck in the middle. Now, what will I do? I will put this Hippo Power Tech card into the market area. And that's the end of my turn.
So, it's my turn now. I take a card from the deck and...
Wait! Before you take a card, let me explain to you how the market works. Actually, when it's your turn, you can either take a card from the deck or you can take a card that someone put into the market area. If you want to take a card from the deck when there are cards in the market area, you have to pay for it by putting 1 capital chip on each card in the market area. Let's say there are 3 cards in the market area. If you want to take a card from the deck, you would have to pay 3 capital chips, 1 for each card in the market.
So there will be more and more chips on the cards in the market area, right?
That's right. And if you decide to take one of the cards in the market area, you can also take all of the capital chips that are on that card. You can't put the card you just took from the market area back in the market area in the same round, though. So if you just want to have more money and don't really need the card, you can get rid of it in the next round, okay?
Okay, I don't want to pay, so I'll just take the card in the market area. And I will invest in Hippo Power Tech.
So, you made an investment. That means I should tell you about the AntiMonopoly Chip. The player who has the most cards of one company in front of them will get the corresponding AntiMonopoly Chip. If you have this chip, you can't take a company card of that same company from the market area, even if there is one lying there. Hamlet just invested in Hippo PowerTech and thus became their first investor. At the moment, he has the most cards of this company, and as a result, he gets the corresponding AntiMonopoly Chip.
What? That means I can't collect those cards anymore, doesn't it?
That's right. You can't take cards of this company from the market anymore. Your only chance is to take more cards from the deck. But it's not all bad news. If you draw a card from the deck, you don't need to pay for the cards of this company that lie in the market area. For example, the player who currently owns the AntiMonopoly Chip for Giraffe Beer only has to put a capital chip on the Octo Coffee cards. And the player who owns the AntiMonopoly Chip for Octo Coffee only has to put a capital chip on the Giraffe Beer card. If another player invests in more of a certain company than you have, then that player gets the AntiMonopoly Chip.
So I don't necessarily have to keep it for the whole time. Phew, that's good.
It's my turn. There are no cards in the market area, so I will take a card from the deck, and Hamlet is already collecting Hippo PowerTech cards, so I will get rid of this one.
Oh, I want that one!
Now we've all had a turn. Do you think you understand the flow of the game? Before we continue, I'll tell you how we calculate the final scores. After a player takes the last card from the deck, we have to check who invested the most in each company. The important point here is that not only the cards in front of the players are counted, but also the 3 cards they still have in their hands. This means you can collect more cards of a company without letting the other players know about it.
So you can bluff the other players!
That's right! And the player with the most cards of one company gets paid by the other players who also invested in the same company. 1 capital chip for every card they own. And they don't pay only 1 point, but 3, because now they have to turn over the capital chips.
3 points for 1 card! Wow, that's pretty good!
That's why you can become rich easily if you collect enough cards. But don't forget, the more cards you collect, the higher the risk is for you. It's important that you are careful and think twice before investing. All right, let's get back to the game. It's my turn. I will take a card from the market area and the capital chip on it. I want to invest in this company too.
What? You can't be serious!
I have the advantage now, since I don't have the AntiMonopoly Chip.
Boinx number 2 has already invested in EMT, so I can feel safe and do the same.
I don't need the Bow Wow Games card, so I'll pay and take a card from the deck. I will invest in EMT as well.
Huh? I don't need the Bow Wow Games card.
One more thing. If you take a card from the market area, you don't have to put capital chips on the other cards. I have no use for the Flamingo Soft card, so I will pay and take one from the deck. I'll get rid of this one.
There are 2 Flamingo Soft cards in the market area? Maybe I can get them and win!
Darn it! I can't take them. I have the AntiMonopoly Chip.
But you don't have to put capital chips on the 2 Flamingo Soft cards either. Let's see. I will invest more in EMT. Now I have more EMT cards than Boinx number 2, so I get the AntiMonopoly Chip.
Yay! There are 2 chips on the Flamingo Soft card!
Oh, darn! Flamingo Soft, please! Flamingo Soft! Ah! Hippo PowerTech!
I'll take the Hippo PowerTech card. I don't want to play my EMT card, but I want to collect Hippo PowerTech secretly. I'll do this.
I can't take the Bow Wow Games card. Oh, yay!
I don't need the Bow Wow Games card, so I'll pay and... Oh, that was lucky!
Oh, the last card. I will take it and put one card down and the game ends. Okay, let's calculate the scores. Who collected the most cards of each company? Don't forget to count the cards in everyone's hands. If you don't have the most cards of one company, you have to pay the player who does. Give him one capital chip for every card you have of that company. And don't forget to turn the capital chips to the 3 side. If 2 players have the same amount of cards, no one has to pay anything. I have the most giraffe beer cards. Boinx number 2 has the most Bow Wow Games cards. For Flamingo Soft, it's a tie and no money is exchanged. Hamlet has the most Octo Coffee cards. I have the most Hippotech cards. And it's another tie for EMT. And now we can count our capital chips. Wow! I never thought I could get so much money!
I'm rich!
I don't believe it. How can you get so much money?
Try to win with a big number company, like EMT, number 10. There are lots of cards, so you can get money from lots of people. And you better give up early if you think you can't get enough cards. Oh, what do you think? Try playing Startup while having a nice cup of coffee. By the way, my favorite coffee is Vienna Roast. Bye-bye!